Live, it's the Bison Football Show. Valley News Live and Gate City Bank present the Bison Football Show with head coach Chris Kleiman.
Another year was added to the banner, and it went to the roof as the Bison opened their home schedule against Weber State. An electric sellout crowd saw a sharp Bison team. Coming off a bye week, the Bison rolled to a victory. That's a great sight right there, isn't it, Coach? And it was a great atmosphere early on for the crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah, the crowd was tremendous, and we really fed off the crowd. You could tell defensively our guys played with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, and that's all due to the crowd. And it was a great team win.
You know, Weber State's a quality team. You know, the score ended up being 41-14, but I don't think that's indicative of the quality of opponent that you played.
No, I think they're a good football team, and I talked to Coach Hill before the game, and he thinks their talent level is getting better. They're playing harder, and you could see that on the field. And they'll win some games this year, but it's a young program, and he's just in his second year.
Well, let's break down this game, get into the first half highlights here. The Bison played so well in the first half, came out all fired up, and the crowd helped a lot. There's no question. It was a terrific atmosphere early on, and C.J. Smith was back for this game, and I think that was huge. He gets a big tackle early.
Yeah, what a lift for our defense, and C.J. to get the first play and see the excitement with everybody around him. That's great for C.J.
King Frazier had an early burst, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I thought this was great blocking up front. King hits the hole and gets us a good chunk of yards on first down.
Well, so much talk about the ankle for Carson Wentz. I think that was put to bed real early in the game here. This touchdown run on this drive was something special.
Yeah, it really was. We wanted to get him a carry early on in the game and test it, and nothing tested more than this, and a couple great cuts and breaking tackles, and what just a great play by Carson.
Boy, a 6'6" guy moving like that, that's impressive. 7-0 right there. The defense is rolling. You force a 3-and-out. You have the ball back. You got the momentum. You're driving, but there's a turnover.
Yeah, it's something we can't have happen. And we talked about it all week. I think Weber does as good a job as anybody of stripping the football, and we emphasized it, but the young man makes a great play, and how momentum can change quickly.
Yeah, no doubt, and it did. 2 plays later, they get a 68-yard passing touchdown.
Yeah, it just can't happen. We can't give up the big plays. That's something we're emphasizing more and more, but we've got to continue to shore up some mistakes, because we can't give up a turnover and then lead to a big play, because we had all the momentum, and now all of a sudden it's 7-7. But I was really proud of our guys to be able to snatch that momentum back in the second quarter.
Yeah, no question. Weber State did get a little burst off of this for a minute. It's 7-7 right now. They started to bring a little pressure on you.
That was kind of the story of the game. They were going to try to heat us up, but it ended up costing them in the end.
It forces a punt here for the Bison, but that's a good thing, because, boy, you have one of the best punters in the nation.
We sure did, and Ben banged a few yesterday. This was a great job of utilizing the sideline and getting it out inside the 5.
Now we move into the second quarter here. They had very few positive plays, Weber State did. This is an 11-yard run. They only rushed for 53 yards. This is one of the few plays, but the defense for the Bison was great all day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you'll see so many guys around the football at the end, even here on an 11-yard gain, and I was so happy with how those guys played and how hard they played.
And this is where the momentum flipped, really. You forced a punt there, and then Chase Morlock gets loose up the side.
Yeah, great call by Coach Polasek, and Chase is a great football player and had a tremendous day.
I thought Tim called a great game, so kudos to him, no doubt about that. And also defensively, really good blitz call right here by Matt Ince.
Yeah, great call by Coach Ince, and you see Brad Ambrosius coming in and get a great hit on the quarterback, force an early throw.
Hey, Bruce Anderson, this true freshman running back, he has a little burst. He's part of that 4-headed running back monster, but we see him, he gets the edge here, shows great speed.
Absolutely. Bruce has got a second gear. Dimitri Williams got that second gear. Those guys, as the season goes on, are going to continue to be great contributors for us.
Chase Morlock does it all. He can run the ball. He can catch it. He's devastating in the screen game. Here's a 3rd and 16.
3rd and 16, and he's able to make a couple guys miss. He's a big, strong runner that has got much better speed than people think, and great job by not going out of bounds there and cutting it back, and that's something I know that Coach P emphasizes, and he got us into the end zone there.
And even he can get you the tough yards too. Here comes a 4th and 1 play. You need 1 yard and you go to Chase. He can do it all.
Absolutely. Good job by the guys up front getting the push and keeping this drive alive.
Jared Afalava was a defensive player for Weber State. He had 10 tackles on the day, and he's going to make a play here. He's a transfer from Nebraska, 10 tackles for him. They had a couple of nice players on defense.
Yeah, I think they've got a really good defense that plays really fast. They just elected to blitz us, and we were able to make them pay.
That forced a missed field goal, but you get the ball back. And a key point in the game here, a 2-minute drill was executed perfectly.
Great throw and a great play by Darius Shepard. It's something we saw out of him all through fall camp, and that was great for Shep to get a little confidence.
There was Tim. We had to get him on. He called a great game, so he gets some TV time there, and this is a beautiful seam pass.
What a great throw by Carson. Puts it right on the money, and Zach gets his head around just in time to make the catch and score.
So we move into halftime on our Nodak Mutual Insurance first half scoreboard. It's 28-7 at halftime. Wentz just terrific, 407 yards of offense in the first half. This week on the Bison hot seat, the Gate City Bank hot seat is Nick DeLuca. All right, Nick, as a child, who was your favorite superhero?
Have to go with Superman. Always wanted to fly.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night, for sure.
What is your favorite pro team?
Have to go with the Packers as well.
Okay. In traffic, are you a patient driver or do you get frustrated?
I'm pretty even-keeled, pretty patient, yeah. I can deal
Omaha's
with.
got a little traffic, huh?
Yeah, we're used to it.
What is the worst household chore?
Dishes, by far.
What's your biggest fear?
I'd have to say spiders, snakes. I hate them, both of them. Yeah.
What do you like most about Fargo and North Dakota, this area in general?
There's a lot of places to eat. There's literally any place you can think of we have, pretty much.
What impresses you most about the Bison coaching staff?
The time that they put in, just all of the effort and all of the film that they do.
Mm-hmm. What's the one thing that people don't know about you?
That I'm actually adopted. So that's kind of a little fun fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
Welcome back to the show. So 28-7 at half. What'd you work on at halftime?
Well, we talked about momentum, you know, how quickly it can leave you in the first half, and it did, but our guys really seized it in the second half, and we needed to continue to run the ball, and we needed to eliminate big plays, especially on defense. We were able to do that. Unfortunately, they got one on the special teams.
Let's break down this second half, and we're going to see a number right off the bat here that is a wow. I mean, 407 yards of offense in the first half. That's the start of the third quarter. Such an impressive first half. Right away, though, they forced a 3-and-out defensively.
They did a nice job. They blitzed a bootleg pass and were able to get us 3-and-out, but we were able to do the same thing to them.
MJ Stumpf playing well at linebacker.
Yeah, he's starting to play better and better, and he's getting more confidence, and I'm looking forward to a big season from MJ.
Boy, the Bison were good on third down again. Here's a 3rd and 11. Nice throw.
What a great throw and catch. Zach Braun made 4 catches, but they're all big catches for us.
You know, we talk about the power of Chase Morlock, but I think he has some sneaky speed, doesn't he? I mean, he can break away from people.
Yeah, he's got great speed. He's elusive, a great stiff arm. He played 4 positions for us and played on all our special teams. He was a warrior yesterday.
All right, so Cam Peterson comes in. His first field goal attempt. It's a 27-yarder, so a short one, but he does it with confidence.
Exactly right. He did it with confidence. He had great poise. It was a good snap and hold, and Ben went back to holding, and it was a successful kick.
Boy, the Bison defense was really good on third down. This is a 3rd and 8 for Weber State. Just solid tackling all day.
You bet, and this was the big emphasis this week, was to be better on third down, and part of that is gang tackling, and you saw it there.
The first snap for Easton Stick as a Bison player is a play to remember. Just impressive running ability.
Great speed, elusive guy that can get vertical, as you see here, and he's a tough, hard runner, and really happy for Easton.
And he led the offense to points here as we move ahead to the 4th quarter. You bring Cam Peterson out. Now this field goal, a little bit longer. This is a 37-yarder, but again, it did not seem to rattle him at all, did it?
No, great poise, good snap and hold, and he bangs it through.
Well, this will give coaches gray hairs nonstop. A special teams touchdown drives coaches crazy, doesn't it?
Boy, it sure does, because once again, we have all the momentum, and all of a sudden they take the momentum back, and their guy makes a nice return. But we had too many missed tackles and guys out of their lanes and gaps. It's something that, you know, moving forward, we've got to be able to correct, because these are the type of things that happen to you in close games where they beat you.
Yeah, and it shows the importance of maybe a touchback, too. When Ben boots those out of the end zone, it takes it out of the return man's hands, too. So every time he does that is huge.
You bet.
Now, 1 sack on the day, and we see Nate Moody, and now on offense as well. What a great slant right there.
It was. Great play by Nate. He's so reliable. Great throw and catch.
This was the 1 sack, and Nick DeLuca, just impressive.
A great call by Coach Henson, and Nick, great job up the middle.
Dimitri Williams, he's a true freshman. He has a lot of talent.
Yeah, another guy with great speed around the edge, and you see a little burst there, and Dimitri's getting more and more comfortable.
Well, King Frazier, he got hurt on that fumble. He missed a few series, but he did come back into the game, finishes us off with a touchdown.
Yeah, great blocking up front, and King finds the end zone.
You know, back to defense, Andrew Smith, he's fought through some injuries as well, and, you know, he's bought his time, and he's factoring into that rotation a little bit. He gets an interception.
Yeah, he really is. You know, for us to be successful on defense, Andrew's got to be a playmaker for us, and he makes a big play there.
Back to the offense now as this game wraps up here. I like this quick pitch by Easton and some nice speed from Lance.
Yeah, a little option, and Lance hits the corner. We've got some speed in the backfield.
You know, Stanley Jones, he's out of Bismarck. He's a local product, North Dakota kid. He got about a dozen reps at defensive end, thought he played well.
Stanley did some really good things, and he's getting better and better in practice, and that's allowing him to be successful in the game. And moving forward, Stanley's got to be a playmaker for us.
No doubt. He's great defensive end depth for the Bison. The final score, great effort by NDSU, a solid effort against a decent Big Sky team. 41-14 was the score. Wentz had a terrific day. Chase Morlock, certainly 7 receptions, 136 yards, over 200 all-purpose yards for Chase Morlock. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
We had two long weeks of preparation for him, and I thought we had a good game plan, and we came out and executed. I think I liked the way we kind of grinded them down there in the second half. I don't know. I think we were close to 600 yards offense, if I'm not mistaken. So that's anytime you're even in that vicinity, that's a heck of a day.
I think we came out hungry. We definitely had a lot to prove for coming from the last game.
We still have a lot of room for improvement. We obviously gave up that touchdown pass that's unacceptable from at least my standpoint, and a lot of our standpoints is unacceptable. So I think we're going to go back to the drawing board next week and prepare for UND and get better.
We were happy to come out and get that first 3 and out right away, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going forward in the game. And, like we said, we were just ready to come out and, have a fast start.
Chase was a beast today and has been for a while. But, I don't know what I ended up with yards-wise, but I'm sure over half of it was Chase just running with the ball after the catch. It makes my job easier. And he was a beast today. He was on a mission. So it's nice to have him both running the ball and catching it.
Indeed, Chase was a beast, and that leads us to our Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game. An easy choice. Moorhead High product. Chase Morlock was all over the field to the tune of 212 yards from scrimmage, 136 through the air, 76 on the ground. He also is a factor on special teams. Through 2 games, Chase is at a very high level.
It was just a lot of fun out there. You kind of full offensive package was coming at them. They've been playing a lot of things, fullback, slot, and stuff. I knew that was going to happen this spring, and we just had a bad taste in our mouth from the last couple of weeks, and I think we had probably 2 of the harder weeks we've ever had here for an off week at NDSU, and we put a lot of work in, and it just paid off today.
I think that's pretty accurate. Through 2 games, Chase is at a very high level.
Yeah, he loves to play the game, and he played fullback, he played tailback, he played tight end, he played slot receiver. He's so versatile, and he's on every special team. So he'll play all night long. Yeah,
love that kid. Let's break down the offensive line. So Zach Zemer gets his first start, played well. These are some of the guys that saw action yesterday that show some of that depth of the offensive line. These guys are coming around. Kind of break those 4 down for us. Yeah, 3 redshirt freshmen, and Zach Zemer's the redshirt sophomore. All 4 are finding their way into the rotation with some of our injuries. All 4 are getting better and better. The open week really helped us because those guys took all those reps during that first open week, and those guys moving forward have to be a part of the rotation, and that's the kind of the future of the O-line of the Rams, and I was pleased with all 4 guys. And we know the Hags and Kunerts and everybody, but those guys are just very important to the overall process. Let's talk about the kicking game. So LeCompte has missed a couple. You bring Cam in. Talk about Cam Peterson a little bit. He made a couple of field goals, showed some confidence out there, and I think that's big moving forward. Yeah, it really is. And Cam really hasn't kicked since his junior year of high school because he tore an ACL playing quarterback his senior year. But we brought him in when school started, and he's got great leg strength. We had him at our summer camps, and Cam did a really nice job. Ben's still going to work on field goals and PATs. Cam's still going to work on kickoffs. It's a pretty good complement to each other, but I was just happy to see how relaxed Cam was out there kicking the ball. And once again, you have Ben holding, so those 2 guys can work together a lot more. That's a great point right there. Now moving ahead to 3rd downs. In Montana, in the 4th quarter, Montana was 3 of 7 on 3rd down, 6 of 18 overall. But yesterday, huge improvement. Weber State was just 1 of 13 on 3rd down.
Yeah, and that open week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we spent 15 minutes against NDSU working third down periods, and it's such a focal point for both sides of the ball, and I thought our defense was exceptional. Even on completed balls, there was enough guys around the pile to be able to prevent the first down.
And how much leadership, kind of leading off that, does C.J. Smith provide? He wasn't in the Montana game, and you know, if you watch practice, he's always a leader out there, and I think having him on the field helped that situation as well.
Absolutely. When we were blitzing, they were looking to the backside X receiver, and CJ was on that X receiver, and the kid just couldn't breathe because CJ was up in his face, and that gives us such a great lift on defense to have CJ back there.
Well, coming up, we're going to talk about the walk-on program at NDSU. The Bison have mastered it. We're going to break it down for you. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Some programs utilize a walk-on program, some don't. The ones that do and do it right can hit the jackpot. The Bison do it right. Walk-ons are given the same shot as a scholarship guy, and the Bison are finding diamonds in the rough out on the recruiting trail because of it. Beth Houle has this week's Olaf Anderson Construction feature story.
The Bison football team is full of big traditions and even bigger expectations. Running underneath the surface of all that greatness is a walk-on program with a heart of its own.
I firmly believe that most walk-ons that come into this program are some of the most exceptional athletes on the team or the hardest workers.
Defensive tackle Brian Schatz had offers from North Dakota State as well as Wisconsin to walk on after high school. He chose the Bison and earned his starting spot and his scholarship the old-fashioned way.
Those days, and they get long and hard, and you keep working, you keep grinding, and hey, I'm living proof that you get a scholarship someday.
Now in his senior season, Schatz takes the time to work with and motivate guys who are where he once was, like current walk-on and redshirt freshman Aaron Steidel.
I got to think that when I'm running 5 patterns, I got to remember that I'm beating a scholarship kid because I want to, not because I'm able to, but because somewhere deep inside me, this is the drive saying that I want to beat him.
It's motivation that pushed now senior captain Joe Haig when he was a freshman. Now with a scholarship and 47 career starts, he admits it still motivates him today.
I think you have a little chip on your shoulder, but I think that that's another great thing about this program. It's not just those guys that don't have scholarships that are working for it. Those guys that do have scholarships are trying to, prove that they deserve it.
Leveling the playing field as every player aims to make his mark in the storied tradition that is Bison football. Reporting for the Bison Football Show, I'm Beth Houle.
And there's lots of examples, Coach, of this. Levi Jordheim's in the program right now. Even Cam Peterson, the kicker, also a walk-on. But do you think some of these guys have a drive and determination to prove all of the recruiters, hey, I can play at this level?
Absolutely. They're hungry. They're determined. Our practices aren't easy. Our program's not easy. And when you're a walk-on, those things are hard to get through sometimes. But you see the kids with great work ethic and drive. And I've seen Steidel, and I've seen what Schatz is doing. I've seen what Joe Haig went through. But our coaches do a phenomenal job of recruiting walk-ons, too. We do a great job, as good as any staff, I think, around, of going out and trying to find these guys and bringing them in. And knowing it's still a culture and it's still got to be a great fit. And
you always say own your part of the process. How big of a part of the process is the walk-on program?
It's as important as any piece. It's important as a scholarship piece, and everybody knows we have a genuine appreciation for everybody within our program, from the scholarship guys to the walk-on guys to the managers.
Well, in this week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison, we check in on a highly recruited local star. Hawley native Ben Ellefson is redshirting so far this season. He's a tight end with tremendous size at 6'3", 243. He was a great athlete and loves to be coached up. That's why he came to NDSU.
One of the reasons I came here is, because of the coaches and because of the people here. Coach Kramer does a really good job with us. He pushes us every day, and along with the position coaches and Coach Kleiman as well, just pushing us and trying to make us the best players that we can be every single day. And that's, it's a huge part of why NDSU is NDSU, why it's so special.
Coach, a lot of local kids grow up wanting to be a Bison. They dream of being a Bison. Ben's a perfect example. Comes from a smaller program at Hawley, but he can live the dream. Anyone can live the dream. Absolutely, and Ben has a really bright future. I'll be interested to see where he's at next year with one full year in the weight room. And he was a guy that we knew we were going to redshirt. Having guys like
you know, Jedry and Bonnet and Lucas that were seniors. We didn't probably need to play Ben, but we're excited about his future.
Now, Ben comes from a smaller program, but he's kind of a project, if you will, and you guys love that. You love to coach these guys up, and he mentioned it there that he likes that as well. Some kids really are receptive to that.
Absolutely, and when he talks about coaching, whether it's a coaching staff or the strength and conditioning staff, because right now Jim and his staff are doing most of the coaching, and they're getting those guys in there 4 days a week, and you'll see how that pays dividends in the spring.
Well, still to come, the Bison are home again this next week against the University of North Dakota. We'll talk about that game. Stay with us. Coach, before we look ahead, let's glance over the Valley a little bit. South Dakota State looks impressive early on at 2-0, and Northern Iowa got a big home win over Eastern Washington. Yeah, I thought it was a good weekend for the Valley. Like you said, SDSU played really well against Southern Utah. UNI getting a win at home. And I was really pleased South Dakota going out to UC Davis on the road in California. Happy for Coach Glenn. Yeah, good point. That is a great win for them. Any road win is a good win in college football, that is for sure. Looking ahead, the Bison play UND coming into the Fargo Dome this weekend. Big ball game. It's a 2:30 kickoff. We'll have you covered on the Bison radio network starting at 2, and of course statewide coverage, ESPN3 coverage on television. This is the Verizon look ahead. And what are your initial thoughts on UND? Well, they're 2-0. They had a huge win at Wyoming and really controlled the football game. I saw they won yesterday. I didn't see many stats or see the film yet, but they're playing at a high level. They're very confident. It's a big game for us. You know, it's our last non-conference game before we go into a bye week, so we're going to still play a lot of young guys and give those guys a number of snaps getting ready for our conference season. But in the same respect, it's a chance for us to play at home in front of our great fans, and I know how important this game is to our alums, and so our guys will be focused and ready to play next Saturday. We'll look forward to it. Best of luck, Coach. 2:30 kickoff at Gate City Bank Field at the Fargo Dome. We certainly appreciate all of our sponsors, Gate City being one of those today here. And we're going to take a look at some of the tailgating as we send you off for next week, and we'll recap that UND game. Have a great week, everybody.